we're gonna end up having a flexion-free class. If you wanna curl up at any point, you can, but everything that we're gonna do is gonna involve our cervical spine staying right in line with our thoracic spine. So we'll have our roller leg lengthwise, and you'll have your hand weights handy. For anybody watching, you don't have hand weights, you use water bottles or soup cans. I've been known to use soup cans. And then you can have your little gray pad out of there too, and your ball. Okay, so you've got your roller lengthwise. You're gonna sit at the very tip of it, make sure your weights are within reach. And then you're just gonna stabilize it with your hands and leg all the way back. Okay, so your head is supported, your tailbone is supported. You can open your arms out to a T, palms face the sky. And just pause for a moment. Maybe your pecs are tight, so this might feel like a nice little stretch. If you don't feel much, you can draw your elbows in towards the mat, keep your wrists high, so that you're in a W. And just relax. Maybe you're clenching your hamstrings or your glutes, let those go. And just breathe here. I'm going to shut off that blower. We'll be plenty more momentarily. Okay, now you're going to grab your weights, take one weight into either hand. They're 3 pounds each. If at any point you feel like they're too much, you can just set them down. We're going to take protraction and retraction, so we'll reach the weights up to the sky. Got a wide leg stance with my feet, so I'm stable. We're going to inhale to reach gently, and then exhale just to settle the shoulder blades onto the roll. Inhale, press, and exhale, retract. When you reach up, be mindful to push your ribs into the roller so that you're not reaching up with your chest and your hands. It's just the weights reaching, but the rib presses down. Good. So it's a very small movement, just protracting the shoulders and retracting. Now once your scapula is settled onto the roller, I want you to bring your weights in alternating directions. So one's going to reach up above as one comes to your hip, and then you switch. So it's going to be an inhale as they pass by, exhale to reach. While we're doing this, you're pushing your ribs down into the roller. Your core is engaged, so the exhale is through pursed lips like I'm blowing a spitball through straw. Bring the weights up to the ceiling. You're going to open your arms to a T, stabilize your shoulder. Your arms are the same height as the roller. You're going to bring your wrists to your hips with your palms facing the ceiling. And then you're going to snow angel back up above you and into your hips. Like literally, if we were laying in snow and you were making a snow angel, that's what this is going to feel like. If the weights feel like a bit much, you can just set them down. Good, now you're going to bring your weights to the ceiling, and we're going to track up above our head and then make that snow angel to our hips. So now we're doing full circles in that shoulder joint, making sure that your wrists turn to the sky as they circle to your hips. Now you're going to reverse the direction. So you're going to come up above your head and then karate chop down to your hips with the palms facing the sky on the circle. Palms face each other on the press to the hips. This is great even without the weights, so don't feel like you need that extra. Good. Bring the weights up to the sky. Open out to a T with bent elbows. Exhale, close them together. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Pushing the rib cage down to the roller. Make make sure that our thoracic spine's not overly extending. Two more. Last one. Now you can set those, so bend your elbows, set those weights on the edge of your mat so they're on the floor. Open your arms back out to that T. I always love that blood flow change. You can draw your elbows in for that W if you need. So you feel different than when you first did it. Now from here, make sure your gaze is right above your head, looking just straight up at the ceiling. And you're going to bring, well, you can keep a wide leg stance. The narrower your feet are, the harder it is. So feel free to keep your legs wider than your hips or the distance of your hips if you'd like. We're gonna go into some alternating toe taps. So your hands can be down at the floor, palms down. Engage your core, bring one leg up to tabletop, and then the other's gonna come and meet it. So relax your neck and shoulders here. On an exhale, you're gonna keep the 90-degree shape of your leg as you arc it away from your ribs, and then bring it back up to that 90. Exhale, inhale. Relax your neck. Keep your gaze just above your face. Only go as low with that arched leg as you can maintain a neutral pelvis. So if you start to feel your low back, you went too far, and you're going to decrease the range of motion. Good, this is really great lower abdominal work. Bring it up, squeeze your legs together. It's important that you fully exhale when you lower so that you stay in your abs and not your hip flexors. So squeeze your legs together, blow out that air through pursed lips, and then inhale, reel it back in. So I really want you to feel like your pelvic floor is coming up as you exhale. Your belly button is drawing in. Two more like that. Last one. Reel it in, plant those feet. And then from here, we're gonna take articulated bridges. So you're gonna take a big breath in. On an exhale, you're gonna peel your pelvis towards your pubic bones coming towards your belly button to get your tail off, and then your mid back, then your low back, then your upper. You're gonna inhale here at the top, and then you're gonna roll your spine down one vertebrae at a time, nice and controlled. Tailbone's the last thing to release. Take a breath in, and then exhale, curl the pelvis to come up. Move real slow so that you can try to get each vertebrae off at a time sequentially, and then you're going to go the opposite direction trying to achieve the same thing. Take these at your own pace. Notice what spots are trying to just move as one piece. Stay on your shoulder blades, don't come off your shoulder blades. You're gonna do one more. Okay, once you're melted completely down, I want you to just get heavy. Release any hamstring or glute that's trying to grip. Arms are down at your sides. We're going to go into what's called marching. So you're going to bring your left foot to tabletop as you raise your right fingers to the sky. And then that's going to lower. You're going to switch sides. So you can be using that hand to stabilize that's on the mat, or you could hover it. It's funny because going on my right hand is easy, but when I bring my left hand to the sky, I do have to stabilize. Otherwise, it gets really hard. Okay, relax that down. Roll out your ankles if you need. We're going to go same arm, same leg. So you're going to exhale, same side. Put it down. Try not to shift on your roller. You've brought some tension into your neck. Make sure you let it go. Relax the shoulders. Good, okay. Now from here, we were doing tabletop and a reach to the ceiling. Now, you're going to extend your left leg as the right arm goes behind you. And then you're gonna bring it in. Actually, let's go tabletop if you can. Both legs, bring them on up, okay? This instability is purposeful. You're going to reach your left leg as you bring your right fingers to the sky. And then you can lower that arm, reel the leg in, switch sides. Your fingertips could be coming to the ceiling, or they could be reaching to the back of the room. Use that exhale as a tool. Good, let that rest. Let's bring both feet down. I think anymore we would be getting into our hip flexors and out of our core. So go ahead and take a little rock from side to side. You can have your arms a little open, or you can hug your shoulders with your hands. And then you're going to carefully come off that roller. Just roll it over to the side or put it at the head of your mat. Okay. Good. From here, we're going to go on to our front side, that black foam cushion that you got out of your box. You're going to use that. Actually, I'm going to take off my cap for this one. So if you don't have a foam pad, you literally could roll up a pair of sweatpants or maybe a hand towel. This pad is going to go underneath your forehead. So, and is this thick enough, or do you guys need, I've got a pretty pointy nose, so it's fine, okay? So we should be able to have our arms in a W shape, and our forehead is resting on this block. So you need to let your shoulders and your neck completely relax here. So once you feel like you've been able to let them completely go, maybe you needed to move the block a little bit away from your nose. I want you to exhale and draw your stomach in towards your ribs, like you're pulling it to the ceiling. You're gonna hold that. And then I want you to lift your right leg off the mat. Inhale, lower it. Exhale, lift your left leg. Inhale, lower it. So you can draw your arms a little closer to your body if you like. They're just in a W shape, and you're alternating, lifting one leg and then the other. You're kind of pressing down into your pubic bone. Your neck is nice and relaxed. And you are not letting go of that ab connection. So here I'm pulled up and in instead of being just slumped into the mat. This is slumped. This is pulled up and in. Last one. Okay, now your arms are going to be up above you, so we're going to kind of go to an X shape. And you can go wide with those arms. You could even bend the elbows a little bit. Get your arms in a position where your neck doesn't feel tense and your shoulders don't feel like you're shrugging to your ears and your upper trapezius is on. I want you to be as relaxed in your upper shoulder girdle as you possibly can. Take that exhale, pull your abs up and in. Now from here, you're going to raise your right arm and then set it down, and then raise your left arm. Now, can you stay even on your rib cage as you alternate sides? So your lift might go smaller than what you originally had. Okay, relax both arms down. Now I want you to lift both of them on your next exhale. So take a big breath in, engage your core. Take a sniff in, and then on your next exhale, both arms are going to lift, and then they're going to lower. So draw your shoulders down your back with me. Pull your shoulders down, Now lift up. Almost feel like you're lifting from your lats and your serratus, like lift from your armpit. You might have a deeper bend in your elbows now, but your shoulders need to be pulling down your back as you lift your arms up. You're gonna do 3 more. Shoulders go down and then you lift. Last one, keep those shoulders down. Oh, relax those arms. You can pull them into that casual W for just a moment. And then go back to that supported position. Draw your shoulders down your back. Engage your core with an exhale. You're going to be lifting opposite arm, opposite leg. But keep in mind what's happening with your shoulder. If you need to be in more of a W shape or maybe a goalpost shape with that arm in order to keep your upper trap off, that's a-okay. I want you in your lower trap. That's the point of the shoulder gliding down your back here. Let it rest. Now, engage your core. Everything's gonna lift together. Everything's in this slight hover. And then you're gonna alternate fluttering one arm and one leg. Maybe you need to adjust your head so you can really just push down into your forehead and kind of move to the edge of my block. My abs are pulling up and in. My glutes are firing like crazy here. And then melt everything down. Place your hands under your shoulders. Push back and take a child's pose. And then if you'd like, you can drag your hands to your knees as you round your back. And we're gonna sit up and take that block away. Now, you have a choice. You can use either a yoga block, an actual pillow, or your ball as a pillow. If you like, you could just use your arm. I'm gonna use my arm as a pillow. Sometimes I like to use the yoga block. The ball is just too squishy for me. And I'm gonna have you, we're doing a spine twist to start. So you're gonna have your shoulders lined up with your hips, your knees are stacked, your head just gets to rest. So it's either on a ball or a pillow. Get it on whatever prop you can to be able to let it go and just completely shut off. Your top hand's gonna reach out in front of you. Instead of a relaxed waist onto the mat, we are engaging our transverse abs to pull everything up and in. Now you're gonna follow your thumb with your gaze to breathe in, cradling your head. Exhale, open. Inhale back to the ceiling. I'm watching my hand. And then exhale, close it out. Breathing in and up. Exhaling, pressing your knees forward. Relax here. Bring it back to the ceiling. And close it out. Now I want you to bring yourself into a long line. And you can extend your arm and lay your head onto it. So you should be lined up. If you like, you can use the back edge of your mat to get yourself lined up. Core is up and up. That exhale through pursed lips helps you achieve that. Front hand can be a kickstand hand. You're gonna point that top foot, you're gonna lift it hip height, and then flex it and lower it down. Yes. Exhale, inhale. Every exhale, we kind of try to see, can I get deeper into my core without flaring my ribs? Reaching through the crown of the head, so making sure our neck is in line with our back. So trying not to look down at our feet because that will take our neck out of the alignment that we want. So we're just gazing forward. Now, point and pause here. Push hard into the bottom leg. Get heavy into the hip. Take those teeny little circles, like you're trying to trace the inner rim of something. Then you're gonna switch directions and pushing very hard into that bottom leg. Relax the neck and shoulders. Reach out the toes. Pause. Engage your core. Bring the bottom leg up to meet it. Carry them down together. Top leg lifts. Bottom leg And we go down. You're relaxing that upper shoulder away from your ear as you do this, keeping your neck in line with your spine, reaching through the crown of your head and out your toes, keeping that engagement of your core. Now squeeze both of them together and lift both. Good, we're doing 2 more. And then last one. Now from here, you can bend your knees. Maybe your glute medius got a little artery. If you need to, you can percussion that. We're gonna press ourselves up. And then if you use the prop, you can bring it over to the other side. We're gonna first do that hip twist. So we've got our pillow. Our hips are lined up with our shoulders. We're making sure to get that bottom shoulder underneath us. So instead of having my bottom shoulder in front of my upper shoulder, I'm gonna pull it underneath myself so they're nice and evenly stacked. Top arms front. Yeah, you can do both since you've got the prop. And then we're gonna inhale up to the sky. Exhale, open. Stabilize that shoulder joint. Inhale back up. Exhale it closed. Breathing in. Blowing it out. In and down. We're going to do one more. Make sure you're keeping your core up and in. Your waist isn't just relaxed. We know. Now you get to extend that top arm. Line yourself up with the back edge of your mat. Pull your core up and in. Okay, make sure your neck is in line with your spine. You guys look great. You're gonna point and lift, flex and lower. When you do that flex and lower, can you reach out your heel as you lower your leg down? Reach. Yes, 2 more like that. Okay, now you're gonna lift and take those tiny little circles. So that pressure down into the bottom leg. Maybe you're gonna get really heavy on your head into your arm, almost like I'm pressing my skull into my bicep. Switch the direction of that circle. This side is more like D's than circles for me. Try to get the back part. Pause. Lift the bottom leg to meet the top leg and then carry them down. So that top leg lifts, then really pull up your core even more and then bring that bottom ankle to meet the top. Relax the upper shoulder if it's crept up towards your ear. Keep the neck in line with the spine. Let your head just be super heavy on your bicep. Now you're going to squeeze both of them together and both are going to lift. It's a really tiny lift. Ideally, you're not feeling yourself cinching here because you're just reaching and elongating those legs away and really pulling up your core. 2 more. Last one. Good, now roll onto your stomach. You can fold your arms and bend your knees. And from here, you're just gonna take a windshield wiper from left to right. Just rocking those legs back and forth. Roll out the ankles. And then you can place your forehead on your hands. Glue your heels together. So your knees are slightly separated, heels are glued, head is on your hands. On an exhale, I want you to pull your core up and in. Settle onto your rib cage and your pubic bone. So now my breath is coming sideways into my ribs because I am engaging my core and can't belly breathe. On an exhale, I want you to thrust into the mat. Squeeze your heels together and squeeze your glutes and squeeze your heels even more after that. And then inhale, let it all release. So an exhale engages my core, thrusts my pelvis, engages my glutes and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze my heels together. I'm gonna squeeze my heels even more and then let it all go. We're gonna do one more just like that. Exhale. Press your pubic bone down, squeeze your heels, engage your glutes, abs are up and on, right? Relax your shoulders, squeeze, and then let it go. Roll out those ankles. Okay. From here, I'm gonna have you press yourself up, and I'd like you to grab your ball, your pillow, whatever you've been using as your head prop. And you're gonna come down. You can be, let me switch my hair situation here. You can be using that ball or prop behind your head so that it is a legit pillow, or you can be placing it between your knees or between your ankles. So for me, I'm going to place it between my ankles, and we're going to be doing our hundreds. And so after that ball is between my ankles, I'm going to extend, so my ribs are down, and I want you to glide your ribs towards your hips to find a slight imprint. And then I'm going to reach my legs straight, but not low. I'm going to keep them in a diagonal. Now my hands are going to reach. I'm going to keep my head down, and I'm going to widen my scapula to bring my shoulder heads to the mat. We're going to start pumping. We're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, blow it out. We could be bending our knees on the inhale, and then stretching them on the exhale. Being mindful of what's happening in our rib cage. Pull your shoulder heads to the mat. Turn your palms up. Let's do that pump with the palms facing the sky. It feels much different, but that really helps to open the collarbone and make sure that you can roll those shoulder heads to the mat. We've got 2 more. Last one. Bend it in. Take that ball out and set it aside. You can hug your knees in and just take a little rock from side to side. Okay, so for those of you who are with me, if you want to curl up, you totally can. I'm going to keep my head down today, so if you want to explore what that feels like, we're going to go into our ab series. And so your legs are in tabletop to start. You're going to send your left leg long as you bring the opposite hand to your knee, and then you're going to switch. So you could simply be hugging your knee into your chest, or you can use your hand like it's a stopper, preventing your knee from passing your hip crease. It's an inhale and then an exhale on the reach. See, and for this one, I'm personally going to send my legs a little lower because I'm not flexed up, but I'm being mindful to really blow out all that air and pull up and in here. Otherwise, this quickly becomes a hip flexor exercise. Now bend those knees in, hug them into your chest, and rock from side to side. More often than not, if I feel my hip flexors, it's because I'm cheating and I'm not using my abs. Okay, now we're going to do that double leg stretch. So bring one leg in the tabletop and then the other. If you want, you could use something as a prop to be taking on and off your legs, or you can just be circling your arms. So on an exhale, I want to reach everything to a V shape, and then inhale, bring it into a ball shape. Exhale, reach, inhale, return. Being mindful of keeping my energy in my core, sometimes pausing to find your core before coming in is helpful. One more. Good, bring it in, rock from side to side. Okay, plant your feet for just a moment and open your arms out to that T shape. Let your knees fall to the right. You can go ahead and turn and look left if it feels okay too. Filling up the left side of your ribs. Try to overcome the urge to belly breathe and instead send it up into your rib cage. Place your hand there if it feels easier to breathe into something. Engage your core, bring your knees through center, let them fall left, you look right. Same thing, try to pull up and in with your core, send your breath up into your rib cage. Engage your core, bring your knees back through center. You're gonna get your roller and lift your hips up. Place that roller underneath your hips. So it's going to be about sacrum height. You're going to bring a leg and a tabletop in the other and reach out to the ceiling. If you need to adjust where the roller is, go for it. You should feel really supported. It's a very enjoyable pause to just take a minute and let your blood flow from your legs kind of come down. Okay, we're going to do something called bicycle. So your left leg is going to lower towards the floor, and then you're going to bend your knee like you're dragging a piece of paper towards your butt, and then you're going to flick your leg back up to the ceiling. Right leg goes, you drag and flick. Other side. This whole time, I'm trying to connect my rib cage to the floor. I'm really engaging my core. Last one. We gotta even ourselves out. So take that right leg long and up. Now, we're gonna reverse the direction. So your left leg is gonna bend. You're gonna get your heel as close to your butt as you can, and then bring it straight, reel it up. Bend your right knee, bring that toe towards the floor, don't stub your toe, lengthen it out, bring it up. And the other side, reach, and reach. Good, one more, both sides. Last one. Good, bend your knees, roll out your ankles. Legs come back up. You're going to laterally turn out and then bend your knees just a little bit. So you've got this diamond position. On an exhale, you're going to take that diamond away from your body, and then inhale, bring it back up to the starting position. Again, heartily exhaling to make sure we're staying in our core. And we're doing the work here rather than doing the work right here. Keep the ribs down. Relax the neck and shoulders. Last two. Last one. Good, bring it in. Legs go long. Now you're side by side, you're parallel. You're gonna lower, reach through those toes, and then reel them back in. I've got my hand on my rib cage to prevent myself from flaring my ribs. You could have your fingertips at the base of your TA in between your hip bones to see how well can I maintain that engagement. Make that about my core instead of my hip flexors. Reach those legs. You will only lower as well as you can maintain a neutral pelvis. If you start to feel your low back, remember you found your end range. You need to decrease a little bit. Bend your knees. You're going to plant your feet. Lift your hips. Take that roller out. And then come down. And just pause for a moment. You're going to reach both legs up to the sky. You bring scissors. So again, if you want to curl up, if you have that ability in your practice, you can. I'm going to stay down. We're going to make a V shape with our legs, and we're going to pulse, pulse, and switch. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Your V may be more shallow. Relax your neck. Your gaze is right above your eyes. Your eye gaze is very important to what's happening with your cervical spine, which is in your neck. Bend your knees, roll out those ankles. And then you're going to rock yourself up to a seated position. Take your time getting there if you want to come up another way. You're going to sit upright now. And so you have an option. You could sit on your pillow. You could sit on your ball. Maybe you have your roller and you can sit on that. And then you can just roll your knees. Okay. So we're seated really tall. So I basically stuck my shins down to the ground and I didn't end up really crossing my ankles. Yeah. So however you get there. And if you hate the roller, you can swap for something else. So once you've found a nice tall spine, like there's a string pulling you up, you're going to reach your arms straight in front of you. We're going to take your spine twist. So let's twist to our left and bend our left elbow. We unwind a little and breathe more, unwind a little and breathe out more, and then we inhale through center. Take it the other way. Breathe in and up. Exhale, 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 inhale. The whole time I'm reaching up with the crown of my head to the ceiling. Nothing is forced. I'm feeling a little opposition from my elbow to my fingertips. Very gentle, not like I'm wringing out a towel. Last one. Good, come forward, relax that down. We're going to take a shoulder roll. Okay, take that roller out from underneath you. We're going to do something called spine stretch forward. And so if you still feel like you need a hip prop, that is a-okay. You could take that little gray thing, it's not much. You could take your yoga block or a pillow. And then your legs are actually going to be quite shallow for your feet, like just barely wider than your hips, really. And I want you to imagine that we have a beach ball sitting on our thighs, and the beach ball is gross. We don't want to touch it, okay? So in order to get over it, so we're going to have our arms reaching out, and I'm going to grow up, and then I'm going to hollow out my middle because I don't want to touch that ball, and then I'm going to come kind of forward with my shoulders while I bring my middle to my back body. That looks perfect. And then we're going to sit back up. Bring your legs a little more shallow. Toes are flexed towards shins, even more shallow. Yeah, like mine are like barely apart from one another. That's perfect. Okay, same thing. Let's inhale, grow tall. I've engaged my glutes. And then we're going to bring our shoulders forward as we take our middle backwards. And then sit up tall. One more like that. Up, and then hollow out your middle. And then sit it back up. Relax those arms down. Good. Come to the front corner of your mat, whichever side you want to make the front. Feet are planted. You could have a ball or a prop between your knees, so something to hug. From here, I've tried to get my heels as far from my butt as possible. Arms are going to come forward. Now, what we just did, we grew tall, and then we hollowed out our middle and kind of reached our shoulders forward. So we're making that C curve in our back. Now we're going to rock back, and then just bring that C shape forward. So it's going to be an inhale, and then an exhale. You should be feeling your core. And you can take it just a little past your sacrum onto your, nearly your waistband, not your waistband really actually, just above your sacrum. Waistband would be a little extra. 2 more. Now on this last one, you're gonna roll all the way down. You can take that ball out. Okay? You can have your knees bent or they can be straight. What we're doing is developing our right leg up to the sky. So after you get it there, if you want to extend your left leg, flex your left toes towards your shin. It is a-okay if the ceiling leg cannot get straight. Ideally, you want it straight and energized, but if it needs to be bent, that's all right. The motion is coming from our hip, okay? So that's why it doesn't matter whether it's straight or not. But on an inhale, you're gonna bring your leg slightly to your midline, and then you're gonna complete a circle and pause. Inhale in, exhale it around. Inhale, exhale. This whole time I'm pushing really hard into my waistband. My head is heavy, and I'm trying to minimize a rock from left to right. Take it the other way. Send it away from your body, and then around. Maybe you can make it a really huge circle, but only if you're able to stabilize your pelvis in that. Bend the knee, send it long, flex your toe to your shin, develop your left knee into your chest and reach it up. Get heavy on your waistband. Inhale to your midline, exhale to complete your circle. Maybe your circles start small and then they get bigger. If you notice a hip click, can you engage your obliques even more? Everything on the mat is fair game to push down into. So I'm pushing into my heel, pushing into my shoulders. Pause, reverse directions. We're going out and then we're coming around. That circle wasn't very circly. I'll try to fix it on this one. Try to make sure your leg is staying in parallel and you're not laterally turning out. Last one. Bend the knee, send that leg long. Roll out your ankles, maybe you windshield wiper your ankles. That could be so easy if we were doing it mindlessly. Whew. Arms long by your sides. Bring your heels as close to your butt as you can get them. Your feet are separated. We're gonna just hinge up into a bridge. Pop those hips up. Now, if you need to, you can walk your feet in even more. Get nice and even on your shoulder blades up here, okay? You're gonna bring your left leg up to the ceiling with a toe point. You're gonna flex your toe to your shin, lower that leg to knee height, and then point and lift it up. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. I'm using my glutes to stabilize. I'm using my core to help keep me lifted. Bend that knee, plant the foot. Roll your spine down, nice and controlled. Take a big clearing breath. And then on your next exhale, you're gonna hinge your hips back up into that shoulder bridge. Get nice and even on your scapula. Walk your feet in if you need. The right one goes high. We flex and lower. I'm reaching out my heel, point and lift. Exhale, inhale. Noticing what's happening to your hips. Ideally, neither of them are dipping. If there was a tray on them, it's staying nice and even. Make sure you're getting a little more weight in your toes for that left foot, not too much in your heel. Bend your head, plant it down, roll your spine. Nice and controlled. Feel free to bring your knees into your chest. Take a little rock from side to side. If you know happy baby, you can grab the outside of your feet, knees come in towards your armpits, and you can just take a little gentle rock here or just pause and breathe. And then when you're ready, you're going to carefully unleash that bind. Bring your feet back to the mat. Cross your right leg over your left knee. Open your arms out to a T. Drop your right foot to the floor by lowering your knee. And then look down your opposite arm. Feel free to have a sense of peeling your knee away from your body. Seeing what you can let go of. Engage your core, bring it back through center. And from here, keep the shape. Grab behind your thigh and just pull it in. Again, you can have that same sense of knee going away from your body a little. If grabbing behind your thigh is too much, then you can just leave it and have your foot planted, but make sure your shoulders are down. Carefully undo that, rest your foot, undo the bind, switch your left leg over your right knee, arms can open up, take your foot to the floor, look down your opposite arm, peeling your knee away, and just breathing. Engage your core, come back through center, keep the shape. Shoulders stay down. If you would like, you can lift the foot off the floor to bring that figure four towards your rib cage. Peeling your knee away from your body if it feels okay to. Just breathing. Good. Carefully let that release. We're going to come back up to our seat. You're going to sit in a Z set. You can have your roller if you like it. It'll be at the pointy knee. If you don't like the roller or don't have the roller, then you'll just come onto your forearm or your hand. We're going to inhale up. And then exhale laterally, flex, root your sit bone down so that you're really opening up that side. Breathe it in. Take it over. I like to push into my heel for a little extra. Come on up. And again. Good, now come up, switch your leg placement. Roller comes to the other side. So this is called a box sit or a Z sit. I like to take my back heel away from my butt a little bit. We're gonna breathe in. And exhale, root your sit bone down. And then come back up, take it over. Ooh. Relax your shoulder. Feel free to linger if you want to, longer than I am, or come out of it sooner if you need to. Good, last one. Take that final counter stretch. Good, and then come up. We're gonna just inhale up and back.